see.
Well, it's going to come down to skill on the battlefield as usual.
Alrighty, first up in our semifinals, Derek and MiddleSky. Let us know in chat who you think is going to take this one.
There's Le Furnace.
One.
Oh, didn't get the tower.
That's damaged. Now that Mega Minion will not make it.
Yep. Interesting that he just chose to use the log there. He just did it.
All right, so this is the hog graveyard deck.
Wow,
Are we going to
that's
see a
the
graveyard?
perfect situation. Oh my god! Have you seen a hog ice golem combo be more effective? That
wiped out an entire army?
Yep, it sure did.
Oh, wow.
Now, here's the thing. Archers are off the field. If he wants, he could always get a graveyard on defense. And the other opportunity there might...
Double graveyard!
Whoa!
And the archers that are so good at fighting him are actually locked
Oh my
onto...
god!
No!
Wow.
Look at how many skeletons
They just
that
keep
is.
coming!
And I think it might be it for that tower.
Just like that.
My
MiddleSky
prediction, right in the
picking up an
garbage
early
can.
one. Well, it's not over
He
yet.
heard
It's
you.
not over yet.
I made him nervous.
You made him nervous.
It was like Rum Hams believing in me. The faith of all the hams. It's on my back. Nah, it's all right.
Interesting that he put... I guess he's playing the Furnace defensively. Doesn't really want to push that right side tower. He's going to do it, I think, if the situation arises.
What
Oh,
about
hog
the
jump to
Hog
avoid the Furnace.
Oh, we're going to see it again.
Wow.
Well, maybe not. Because those skeletons actually got locked onto the Hog Rider.
Yes.
That's good though. MiddleSky learned from his defense. I mean, that's what we talk about a lot in Clash Royale about how pattern recognition is so important. And the first time MiddleSky really got caught off guard, and he's like, I can't have that happen again.
Learning.
What's interesting is that both of these players have a very similar win rate percentage. Now that percentage is how many games they won and lost, making it all the way to the top 8. And so if they swept 2-0, then they would have had a 100% win rate. But they've lost a few games here and there, but they're about equal. So
And they're also equal on their trophy count too. Just 10,
Oh, wow.
10
Yeah.
trophies
That's
differently.
really close.
They actually might have fought on the ladder before.
Yeah.
yeah, that's very true. Oh my god, that log just took down a lot of skeletons.
And you see how ineffective sometimes Graveyard can be. Such a high risk, high reward card. In that case, his opponent countered it with 6 Elixir, a Skeleton Army, and Archers. While he spent a little more, no real damage was taken on the tower, and the Archers get to counter push a little bit.
Yes, and that might be a very intentional choice by MiddleSky as well. He just wants to make sure he doesn't get any damage on his tower. Oh, Ice Golem's leading the way! Leading the way, Ice Golem! Oh! That death damage is a little wider. I mean, that looked cool, but what really sucks is that Derek is about to take a Graveyard to the face.
Right, and that's because he has to spend 6 Elixir on the right side to defend it. That is 6 less Elixir than he has here in the last 10 seconds of the game to try to pull this out, and it looks like Derek's going to drop the first game.
Derek got shut out. Now, MiddleSky's alternate deck is the Goblin Barrel deck, right?
Correct.
It's going to be very interesting to see which deck Derek chooses to match up against that, because I don't know if there's necessarily a good option for either of the choices that he makes.
Yeah, I mean, worth mentioning, MiddleSky is playing a giant deck that is very different from a lot of the giant decks we've already seen, running Skeleton Army and Graveyard, really looking to get those zaps, logs out of your hand and punish you with whichever he's got remaining. I'm always happy to see kind of homebrew, different versions of decks. This is definitely not your daddy's giant deck.
No, my dad doesn't. No, my dad doesn't play this game.
My dad just copies things off the internet. He's a net decker.
So how does Derek dig himself out of this hole? Your champion here.
Against this Goblin Barrel deck, ooh, actually, it's looking pretty tough. I mean, he does have Log and Fireball and Archers in the Hog deck we just saw. His other deck has Arrows, Log, Tombstone Bowler. I might play the Giant Bowler deck here. We've seen how good Bowler can be against Goblin Barrel. You play it in the very, very far back
Against
wall.
all of them.
The rock
Yeah.
it's like a log. You spend 3 more than a log, and you get to keep a Bowler to take with you.
Yeah, it's a great trade.
Great
Not
trade.
bad.
Now, even with that value Ice Golem that goes off, taking the entire Skeleton Army, he still was not able to take down that game. What was it? Just the Graveyards being a little bit better on the side against Derek? Was that what really came down to?
The thing is, it's very different to take a lot of damage on your tower and then play the game out from there, and actually lose a tower and then try to play the game out from there. Difference being, once MiddleSky knew that he took the tower down, he actually just sits back and says, I am not taking any risks. I'm never going to expect to push across the bridge. I'm going to spend all my Elixir defending all the time, and I'm only going to push across the bridge if I know you're going to commit Elixir on defense. and waste elixir not attacking me, right? That changes up the dynamic of the game. If the tower is just badly damaged, then MiddleSky would still need to think about, okay, eventually I still need to attack again and take the tower down, but that just wasn't a consideration for him.
Oh, great fireball! Oh, one minion survives, killed by the Mega Minion.
This is
could
gonna
be
hurt.
a tower too.
This is gonna hurt.
Princess!
Princess was
She
doing
missed
shots.
a lot of them.
The downside of any sort of the targeting in Clash Royale is that she's going to target the closest troop to her. The princess is not looking to hit as many skeletons as possible, so in that very, very closest skeleton, she really only gets half of her splash radius worth of skeletons.
What a read, and also such a risk. How did Derek even know that Minion Horde would have been in MiddleSky's hand? It could have very well not have been an option, and it would have just been a fireball into nothing.
That's right.
Now, to be fair, they've already seen a couple cards cycled through. The log had already come out, the skeleton army had already come out, Inferno Tower had already come out, so he could say pretty confidently, like, you probably have it in your hand.
But a great prediction.
1994.
Missed one.
Now, what I want to see
that year?
against Bowler is playing the miner behind the Bowler to turn him around, and then Goblin Barrel in front so that they don't get rolled over by the Bowler. That's what I want to see against these Bowler plays. There's so many ways you can do miner Goblin Barrel.
Wow.
I don't think they're going to die to
that.
that.
Showed me the answer to my question.
22-14, anyone born in that year?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Martha Johnston, born in 2014. Huge person.
Huge Clash Royale legend.
Huge legend.
Now, here's the thing, he's been using this log to kill the princess when something like archers or Mega Minion would suffice as well, and he leaves himself wide open, like, now, what are you gonna, you're not going to log that skeleton army, right?
Yes.
You're not going to log the Goblin Barrel that's thrown at your tower right about nowish.
There it is. And it's a mind game.
Oh, actually, he would have been better off just surrounding him because there wasn't a log. Look at this, Goblin gets
tags
on.
him. Yep, tags onto the tower.
Man.
Still, that's a long road ahead of him. I mean, this game has completely turned on its head. In the first game, MiddleSky was at such an advantage. Now Derek really holds a position of power.
Yeah. Here, 25 seconds left. What can Derek do?
And you never count these zap bait decks out. They can usually do some of the most incredible amounts of damage you've ever seen in a short period of time because they rely so heavily on these high damage, high risk, high reward cards that can usually work out.
Double Princess!
But today, not so much.
Yeah.
That's it. 5 seconds left. It looks like we're going into game 3 here in the semifinals. Derek picking up that one. A little fireball. Inferno Tower right in the back. What a great placement. Look at that Inferno Tower placement. One step closer, both of these players are to $2,000. And a chance to go on to the crown duels.
What are we seeing next?
Well, next up is going to be the Giant Boulder Lightning deck for Derek. And I said that I didn't think Derek's deck had a really good matchup, but I think the way he won that was that he took a tower early.
Yeah.
I mean, early in the game, that tower was down to near dead after the very first push, and then he could spend all of his energy, as Randy pointed out in the past, just defending. Like, at that point, you can just... All right, cool, I don't have to cast Graveyard, I don't have to cast Hog Rider, I just have to make sure that I don't get completely pwned by a Skeleton Army, Goblin Barrel, something like that. And he did. Beyond that point, played good defense, won the game, and probably snuck out a win with the worst matchup of his two decks.
Oh, wow. So this
He's
is
much
kinda
more
a little
comfortable
bit better.
with the second. Well, he has both arrows and log in this deck to go along with Musketeer, Bowler, Tombstone, etc. So he has double spells. It's going to be that much harder for MiddleSky to pull out a win with this Zap Bait deck.
So you could still not be wrong.
I'm never wrong.
Somebody write that one down.
The best face that happened right after that was probably my favorite.
Are they buying it?
I'm not wrong. Okay, moving on.
A wizard arrives precisely when he means.
That's right. That's my favorite movie. All right. So, how hard is it, Rainey, how hard is it to mind game with a Goblin Barrel? Like, what do you think the skill level is to make sure that you make it so your opponent is going to miss a log, miss a zap?
It's very, very difficult. I think mind games are something that you need to always do just because you want to make sure that you're eking out every little advantage that you can get.
Sure.
Yeah, but oftentimes it's only just for one extra stab on all your goblins. Sometimes that can make a difference, but really you're not gonna. That's why it's so exciting when you see a mind game that's incredibly effective, because really the gains that you're expecting to get is just a tiny bit of damage more.
I believe Tornado might be out as soon as now. If not, it's very soon. But what's a cool thing we saw about what you can do with Tornado, if you notice the Bowler was knocking back the Miner, pretty cool. If Miner is ever played on the bottom or inside lane of a tower, you can use Tornado to pull the Miner onto your King Tower and have the Miner activate the King Tower.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wow.
Which makes it real hard for future Miners.
That's amazing.
Yep, pulling the ladder up from the mine.
Oh.
I think you might be able to do the same with stab goblins, except that the tornado kills.
Oh, that's sad day. Oh, misclick on the miner?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh no.
It's not magic, it's a shovel.
Oh no.
Where's the lightning? There it is.
There's
Oh,
the
but
reset.
Skeleton Army's going to chew through that. He doesn't have
Right.
log. This is
And
one of the other
unfortunately-
benefits of Spellbait.
Was lucky for MiddleSky to pull the Mega Minion just in range of the tower so that it got shot. If it was sitting there just outside of tower range, it would have killed those skeletons all the same, but then maybe threatened the tower, and instead, off the board.
Opts to play the Musketeer instead of the log, and probably the better choice because now he has an option against Skeleton Army and Goblin Barrel.
Oh,
But
wow.
This Musketeer is
Better
going to
Real
arrow
good minion horde. You gotta arrow it.
No, chooses not to.
Possibly
There's the
even have
miner
it
to
in hand.
defend.
There it
Okay.
is.
Yes, has to use arrows. I mean, the arrows is going to be the best answer in that scenario.
Just going back in time here on this tower. 1550.
Here
I've
comes
been
a
playing
log.
Civ 6, and that's a year that I'm
Gets a
in.
stab out.
Yes.
16, 18, 16, hey, 1669, Fire of London.
Look at that.
About it.
Clash Royale.
That's not true at all, actually.
New game where you learn potential history.
Yeah.
But
If you listen to
probably
me,
not.
you're learning nothing. Oh, great job to turn around the bowler there. Oh, mine
Whoa,
had
what
to go
happened?
down. Well, the Mega Minion was going to kill it before the bowler's
Oh,
next
gotcha,
swing. So the bowler
gotcha.
turned around and started swinging again.
Got to lightning that,
Ooh.
but only the Inferno Tower, and that actually might hurt.
Pretty sure it could have hit the tower. That might have been an accident by MiddleSky. Maybe getting a little nervous because we've already seen one mistake, and that's a very common thing is to go on tilt. You make one mistake and you start to make another mistake and another. You start to compound your mistakes because you get nervous and you are so focused on not screwing up that you screw up.
Gonna have to play the log here. Unless he doesn't have it in hand, and these goblins are getting a lot of stabs, plus the miner, and that might put it into spell cycle range.
Oh, missed again.
And the fireball on top misses the Mega Minion, and that might
Yeah.
hurt, but nothing played in front of it. Interesting enough, look at how much damage is separated in these final moments of this match. That might be the nail in the coffin for Derek.
Yeah, they both seem to be making some unfortunate outcomes here. Trying to, like, missing
Wow.
their fireballs, missing their
That
lightnings. Oh,
miner's
no!
doing a lot.
That's it.
Oh, that's
Final for the win, and it's gonna be MiddleSky taking down Derek in the semifinals. He becomes our first finalist here of Coronation number 12. One step closer to $2,000.
Congratulations.
My pick. my picks.
My picks.
MiddleSky, does that make the third Goblin Barrel deck in the finals in a row?
I think it is. Goblin Barrel
Yeah.
is really
Killing
making
it.
like really showing that
Goblin
they are
barrels
here.
are doing
Green is the new
work.
black.
Green is the new Expo. Yeah.
Not only has Skeleton Army become a very popular card being used in tournament winning decks, Goblin Barrel is now also a card being used in tournament winning decks. And Goblin Barrel wasn't even touched in the patch.
No. Goblin Barrel, yeah, you're right. Goblin Barrel hasn't been changed in a while. Actually, fun fact, if you're new to the game, Goblin Barrel used to cost 4 elixir and be one of the worst cards in the game. But it got reduced to
And
3
now it's
elixir.
awesome.
And now, yeah, not only is it good on its own, but it gets exceptionally powerful in situations where opponents are playing a lot of elixir that doesn't defend itself in the back. These
throw it in.
decks, very low elixir cost. Every card in that deck, aside from the Inferno Tower and the Mega Minion, costs 4 or less. And you're able to just cycle,
through.
cycle,
gotta do
faster
it.
than your opponent can defend.
Okay, well, let's take out our first replay, Giant Graveyard.
The
Double Graveyard.
Yes, double graveyard, and just look at how fast these skeletons, they're just like, a party? I heard there was a party. And they just suddenly all appeared. It's basically what happens when people hear I have food in my
Yeah.
apartment. They're just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
hey, just wanted
Neighbors,
to reconnect.
strangers. Yeah.
And
Where
you,
you have your bento boxes.
Exactly.
you sort of see how these decks work. I mean, you saw the arrows come down on the left side, and as soon as that happens, the Goblin Barrel's thrown onto the right side to try and get some more damage in, and it all adds up.
All adds up. Spell cycle, whoop, complete. One of the things, if I may reminisce a little bit, that I just
Yeah.
find very interesting is that in all my time casting, spell bait has always been a thing, but it's never been a tournament winning deck, right? It's been dangerous, but it's never been effective to the point where it's actually relied upon to win you tournaments. In this day and age where we see 3 spells being played in one deck, never seen
at minimum.
before, Spellbait is the better deck to play? I'm not really understanding why. It seems like, hey, everybody's playing more spells, I guess I'll play a Spellbait deck. Doesn't really make sense to me.
It depends also on what the spell is.
Yeah.
So when poison gets replaced by lightning, Lightning's both expensive and not very good against those kind of decks. But the thing is that deck, without any new cards coming out, gained a new card in the deck in Skeleton Army that used to be very bad and is now very good, right? So players, imagine, for example, actually I would argue that Log is only really popular because Skeleton Army is so popular. So a lot of people are playing these 2 to 3 spells specifically because if you didn't, Zap Bait would probably be the most powerful deck in the whole thing.
All right, well, we have our first final, so let's pull up the bracket. It is going to be MiddleSky moving on. The question is, who will be joining? Will it be Brian RT or will it be Naruto Uzumaki? Brianert.
Whoever it is, one of these 3, they're going to be winning some cash money next
Yeah, top prize. $2,000 and that ticket to move on to the arena battles. Then they have a chance to go to the crown duels where $15,000 is first place out of a $100,000 prize pool and that trip to Helsinki to go to visit Supercell HQ.
While you're there, I recommend Naughty Burger.
Yeah.
It's called Naughty Burger.
Great.
It had jalapenos in the burger.
Oh.
In the, like they mashed it up
super
in
naughty.
there. Yep. And everyone, if you've ever been to Scandinavia, it's true, everyone is like 7 foot tall blonde. Yeah, like I'm not even kidding. The lady who took my order at Naughty Burger was like 6'5" and a model. And I was like, what are you doing here?
That's amazing.
Why
All right,
are you
so there you go. If you guys want to be a part of that, go to ClashRoyaleOpen.com where you can go over there and meet these awesome people.
Yeah. That'd be so great.